Hello everybody and welcome to video 4 of the Rhythm Fundamentals lessons. So I can safely say that we are not going to be talking about whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes completely. We may mention them a little bit, but we're actually going to be talking about their counterparts more so than them. Those notes, they show durations of sound, whereas whole rests, half rests, and quarter rests, they show durations of silence. So yeah, let's figure out how silence works in rhythm and in this notation. Okay, so first up we have a stupidly easy two measures of 4/4. It's just nothing but quarter notes. And while we're at, let's just throw in the counting, just in case we forgot how to count 4 quarter notes. There we go. But we're not here to talk about quarter notes. We're here to talk about rests. And I'd like to start with quarter rests. So all we're going to do is, what if we would just want to change some of these chord notes into rests? Well, let me do that. So there you go. And so now for beats 3, 1, and 4, instead of actually saying or playing the quarter note, you're just going to be resting for that amount of time. It's going to be silent. So now, because we're going to be silent for those beats, what I might do is, in the counting, I might put a parenthesis over the beats that we're resting for. Or another option is to just simply take out the numbers that you're resting for completely, like this. Regardless, this is what this is now going to sound like with a metronome on. 2, here I go. Ta, 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 ta. Again, now with me counting, and I'll say shh every time I have a rest. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, shh, 4, shh, 2, 3, shh. So those are quarter rests. Okay, so this next slide shows a rhythm in 4/4 now with a whole fancy half note in there. As it stands, let's see what this sounds like. 2, here I go. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. So notice those 2 quarter rests in the second measure. But what if I wanted to maybe change this half note into a half rest? Well, this is what that's going to look like. It's like this fancy top hat type looking symbol. And now that I'm talking about it, actually check out these 2 quarter rests that are in a row. They're right next to each other, right? When you have quarter rests right next to each other, you can also think of that as a half rest, because 2 quarter rests equal a half rest, just like 2 quarter notes equal a whole note, or I'm sorry, half note. Okay, so now we have 2 beats of rest here and 2 beats of rest here. That's 4 beats of rest total, regardless of going over the bar line. And this is what this is going to sound like. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's just like a bottomless pit of silence in that middle there. Okay, so the last kind of rest I want to talk about are whole rests. Here we have a whole note taking care of all of the 4 beats in the first measure here. If we simply turn that into a whole rest, it would look like this, which is now just that same fancy top hat, just upside down. So upside down is whole rest, right side up is a half rest. So yeah, and you know what? I'm not going to even bother showing what this sounds like. I think you can probably understand what 4 beats of rest would sound like, so that's what a whole rest is. Okay, so before we move on to the last slide, I just want to point something out to you. We have 2 measures of 4/4. Here's the top one that has a half note in it, and here's the bottom one with a quarter note in it. What if I clapped this rhythm? So I'm going to clap, I guess, the top rhythm first. 2, here I go. Okay, that was it. And then I'm going to clap the bottom rhythm. Ready, go. Did you notice that it sounds the same exact way, even though they're written differently? What I'm trying to show you is the limitations of clapping. Because when you clap, you can't lengthen the sound of the clap. It just starts and ends. Whereas if you say ta, you can show the length of a note. And that's why saying ta I prefer more than clapping, because by using ta, you would show that this part is different than this part. Right? So here's the top again. Ready, go. Ta, ta, ta. Versus the bottom. Ready, go. Ta, ta, ta. If you just clap, you're not going to be able to show that rest. And you're not going to be able to show the length of the half note. So ta is really the only way that you can show duration. Okay, so last slide, 5-measure example of using all these types of rests that we were just talking about. Let's just go through this one at a time. We have a whole note, or I'm sorry, a half note that gets the first 2 beats. We have a quarter rest on beat 3. We have a quarter note on beat 4. A quarter rest on the start of the next measure on beat 1. 2 quarter notes on beats 2 and 3. Another quarter rest on beat 4. We have a whole rest that takes care of all of the 4 beats in that measure, so you're resting for that measure. Next measure down here, we got 2 quarter notes for beats 1 and 2. Here we have a half rest that takes care of both beats 3 and 4. On top of those rests, then we keep resting into beat 1 of the next measure. We again play on beat 2 with that quarter note, rest on beat 3, quarter note on beat 4. Okay, so now I'm going to do this, I'm going to perform this 2 times. The first time I'm going to say shh every time I'm resting. Alright, so here we go. 2, ready, go. Ta, sh, ta, sh, ta, ta, sh, 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 ta, ta, sh, 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 ta, sh, ta. Okay, so the sh is very annoying. I'm sure you want me to stop. So I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to say now, instead of ta, I'm going to say the counting, and then just let the rest be silent. Here we go. 2, ready, go. 1, 4, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 4. There you have it. Like I suggested last lesson, I would maybe play that back a few times and see if you can actually perform that with me and see if you can get that right. That's the best way to practice with these videos, because you are certainly going to encounter rests and rhythms like this on your worksheet. But until then, that's it. We're all done with this video. We'll see you guys next time.